So let me just share the slides, Eunice.
Right. Sorry.
Okay. You see these slides, Eunice, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Just so yesterday we looked at learning outcome. So just to introduce myself, my name's Shazia Khan, and today's session's on people management. Yesterday we looked at learning outcome 1, which was to understand communication practices within organizations. And we looked at analysing the benefits of effective communication to organizations, which was 1.1, and we looked at 1.2, which was analysing policies and procedures that are used to enhance communication within organizations. We also looked at 1.3, which was outlining the legislation, and 1.4, evaluating organizational structure. When we looked at different forms of communication and the communication process, why do you think it's important to have good communication in a business, Eunice?
Sorry.
Why do you think it's so important to have good forms of communication in a business?
Yeah, to understand each other and to promote the organization or the business.
Yeah. And when we look at different types of barriers to effective communication, what kind of things can be barriers to communication we looked at yesterday?
Loss of transmission.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
Sorry.
What does that mean, loss of transmission?
Like the medium which it's going through, and not listening.
Yeah.
The recipient not the receiver not listening.
And what about things like, do you remember what things like non-verbal communication is?
Yes, non-verbal, using body gestures and signs, to communicate.
Body posture.
Yeah, body posture to communicate.
And does that, when you use non-verbal communication, does that give someone an idea of how the other person's feeling?
Sorry?
If your facial expressions and your body posture, does that identify how you're feeling as an individual?
Yes.
Yes. We also looked at psychological barriers, which is things like the difficulty understanding things, if you have things like your emotions, if you have any sort of perception or focusing on things. We also looked at things like organizational barriers, which we looked at downward communications, and lateral communication. Why is, when we looked at the hierarchy structure, formal organizational structure, why is it important to have an organizational structure in force?
To know the right person to go through, to know the right way or the right person to get in touch with.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then were some of the things we looked at yesterday in yesterday's session in regards to learning outcome 1. Today we're looking at learning outcome 2, which is there's 2 parts to it. So it will carry on to next week's session as well. So the first bit of it is the first bit we're going to be looking at is learning outcome 2, which is to understand the principle of effective teamwork. Okay. And when we look at teamwork, what do we think of teamwork straight away? What comes to your head?
Working with, like, cooperating with your colleagues at work, or collaborating with them to work to promote
working as a team, working with people in your organization to like implement your skills and to get the job done. So to define teamwork, it's a group of people with a full set of complementary skills required to complete a task, job, or a project. Team members operate with a high degree of interdependence. They share authority and responsibility for self-management. They are accountable for the collective performance, and they work towards a common goal and a shared reward. So, you know, they have one goal at the end of it. A team becomes more than just a collection of people when a strong sense of mutual commitment creates synergy, thus generating performance greater than the sum of the performance of its individual members. And the reference to this is the business directory, which is below, which if you want to get more information is on that. Team building. So team building is concerned with improving performance and results and making greater use of both individual and team strengths, not simply concentrating on weaknesses. Some of the people within your team, would they be able to, do they all have different skills, Eunice?
Yes.
Yes. So some of them may have, you know, more communication skills or more writing skills than others. Others may have better listening skills. So does that identify that the different skills they have, do they work better together as a team?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is team building so important?
To work effectively, and it makes the work easy and simple.
Yeah, to work effectively, that's a good word to use, and to identify improving any sort of performance skills or anything. So resolving problems about which something can and must be done, and which are within the responsibilities of the team involved. So team building factors, you've got leadership, membership, climate, objective, achievement, work methods, communications, individuals, creativity, and interpersonal relations. Review and control as well. Team building characteristics carried on at regular working sessions. So you know, you've got to identify that you've got enough working sessions to work together as a team, tackling own problems, tackling the root causes. Openness, honesty, and risk-taking is really important. Action, orientation, commitment to decisions. Individuals put in time and effort. The leader accepts feedback. Development of interpersonal skills. Program unique to the team. So, you know, every time you do something within a team, you know, you need to give feedback So team building, the belief that the team can work together. That's really important, to have that belief that the team can work together and the commitment to each other. This has to come from the team. Why is it so important that the team has to work together, Eunice?
Sorry.
Why is it so important? If a team works together well, why is it so important that they work together well? Because they're fine. Their first thing to do is achieve the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if they work well together, does it make a good team?
Yeah, it makes a good team.
Yeah. So for example, in the healthcare professional, if you work with, your nurses or doctors together, it forms this team which you're trying to build, and you all work together so well in regards to it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Knowledge, so about how teams work, the team's characteristics, about team leadership. So their characteristics, what they are, what they have, what they are strong in, what they're able to identify, the skill. So from the application of knowledge, reflecting on experiences, through joint decision making and problem solving. Why is it so important to make decisions and reflect on the experience and problem solve? Why do you think that's so important? That's a really important skill to have. Why is it good to have joint decision making, Eunice?
To share ideas.
To share ideas. It's important to share ideas and come up with one good idea that will help all the team.
Yes.
The experience, so knowing the team's strengths and weaknesses, where to develop new skills to support the team, and respecting individuals' contribution. And that's really important. All of them are very important, but respecting individuals' contribution, why do you think that's so important? Why must you respect any other individual's contribution?
Because that's their contribution, that's what they know about, so you have to respect. And if it's not up to what do you call it,
do you think if everyone comes into the team having different ideas, yeah, and if you don't respect others' ideas, it's not fair, because you can't expect them to respect your ideas
as well.
So it's better to take things on board and understand people. Team building, so working in teams can release creative energy, so positive things as well. Communication is effective. Ineffective teams is genuinely interactive with people, building on one another's suggestions and adding fresh perspectives. So when you work as a team, everyone has different new ideas, don't they? And they can help you and make suggestions and recommendations, which helps build a good team. Working in a team can mean people enjoy work more, a sense of belonging to a team. It's really important for some people to have that sense of belonging to a team. Sometimes teamwork is the only way to do a job, as neither the concert nor the football match can be performed without a team. So, it is really important working in a team that you enjoy the work and you have a sense of belonging, because that's what some people get. And most work requires teamwork. So we have the team life cycle. The original model, published in 1965 by Dr. Bruce Tuckham in the article Development Sequences in Small Groups. This was Psychological Bulletin, volume 63, number 6, only covered the first four of these. He added the 5th stage in the 1970s. So stage 1, excuse me. Stage 1 is teamworking is underdeveloped, forming, concerned with who fits where. Stage 2, team is experimenting, which is storming, concerned with have we worked together. Stage 3 is teamwork is norming. So the group help is widespread. Concern is how individuals can help the group. Stage 4 is teamwork is mature, which is performing, conserving with achieving the goals. And then stage 5, finally, which was added again in 1970s, team is ending, mourning, concerned with breaking up and moving on to new tasks. So that's when it comes to an end, and that's when stage 5 is when people, start getting upset about things because, the team's broken and they've kind of, moved on to another task. And here it says stage 1 signs may include self-conscious, politeness, embarrassment, enthusiasm, stilted conversation, not much progress yet. Stage 2 signs may include conflict, lively debate and discussion, trying out ways of working, thinks beginning to be achieved. Stage 3 may include shared leadership, preparedness to change, active participation by all, mutual problem solving, and open exchange of ideas. Stage 4 signs may include relaxed, purposeful atmosphere, feelings of confidence, because a lot of the stuff you've gone through stage 2 and 3, so you're more confident at this stage. Most talk about the job and goals being achieved. So here, stage 2 and 3 are probably the most important one in regards to things starting happening.
Yeah.
Then stage 5 is where signs may include tidying up loose ends, celebrating any sort of achievement, and feelings of sadness because you're moving away from the team and planning for new teams and saying goodbye. So this is towards the end. So in between 2, 3, and 4, this is where all the work is done, mainly 2 and 3, and then 1 is starting off, and stage 5 is when you plan to leave. So it's quite a good team life cycle to work by. Then you've got this diagram which defines objects. So the key actions here would be defining objectives. Your task for this would be identifying tasks and constraints. And this is to do with team leadership. And then the team involved team share commitment, individual clarify objectives, gain acceptance. And then the next key action would be to plan. So establish priorities, check resources, decide and set standards. The team that would be involved is consult, encourage ideas and actions, develop suggestions and structure. The individual would have to assess skills, set targets and delegate. The next key action was brief. So you brief the team, you check that they're understanding what you're telling them. Then the team answers questions, obtain feedback, listen, enthuse. And then the next key action is to support and monitor. So you repeat progress, you maintain standards, discipline, you coordinate, reconcile conflict, you advise, assist, reassure, recognize effort, and counsel them. The next key actions in team leadership is to evaluate. So you summarize progress, review objectives, replan if necessary, so any sort of amendments that need to be made. Recognize success and learn from failure. Assess performance, appraise, guide, and train. So these are some of the elements that come within it. For this session on team building, the reference is the businessdirectory.com definition. Also refer to Beale, Geel, Bullen, JM and Robo, leadership and dynamic group actions, which identifies different types of team leadership skills. Okay, so we've done this bit because this was only a small bit of learning outcome 2. We're going to carry on with the next set of slides, okay?
Okay.
So let me just go on to them. Eunice, can you see this next set of slides?
Yes, please.
Excellent. So this is the next set of slides, which will be this is all to do with teamwork and team building. So we'll be going on to doing this, and then we'll carry on with learning outcome, a little bit of learning outcome next week too as well, okay? So this talks about teamwork. Okay, so teamwork, what is teamwork? Together, everyone achieves more. And Margaret Mead identified it as never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. What do you think she meant by that? Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
Yeah.
What's she trying to say in that?
Like meaning 2 or 3 people who are committed and with ideas can, change the world. Like,
Yeah, can make a big impact, can't they?
No matter
They
how.
can, no matter that they're a small group
Yeah.
or anything like that. So it's quite a powerful statement, that, and it's true, isn't it, in some instances that, teamwork does make people, develop more, become more committed, and, change the world in some instances. And then we've got Tom Peters, and he said innovation is simply group intelligence having fun. What do you think he meant by that? That's quite a nice one as well. Group intelligence having fun. What do you think he meant? A group of people, sorry, a group of intelligent people enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he meant by that. A group of intelligent people innovating and working together and being able to perform a good teamwork. So how would you define it? What do we think of as the qualities of a good team? So how would you define what teamwork is, Eunice?
2 or more people collaborating to achieve a goal.
Yeah, excellent. 2 or more people collaborating to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
Everyone has different definitions. What do you think are some of the good qualities of a good teamwork?
Multitasking.
Multitasking. That's very, very. Why is multitasking so important? It's okay. When you've got like different ideas in your head and different people have different ideas, how does it help?
It makes the work simple and easy.
Yeah,
with different ideas coming together.
Yeah, excellent. So it makes the work simple and easy. Okay. What else does it do?
Yeah.
So if you have people that are intelligent and committed people, would they want to finish the job off if they're working in a team?
Yeah.
Yes, they would want to come to the final goal. So good teamwork, good qualities, communication skills, interpersonal skills, team building skills, able to, talk confidently as well. That's a good skill to have. Multitasking, what you said, is a very good skill because everyone has different ideas. So the different qualities everyone's got to become a good teamwork.
Yeah.
With a partner, make a list of what makes a winning team. So that's obviously, we've just said that a winning team. What do you think me asking you makes a winning team? Is it just a group of people that make a winning team?
Yes.
Okay, group of people with what though? What kind of things can be a winning team? If you go into a team, Eunice, of 4 other people, what should you bring to the table? What kind of things?
Ideas.
Excellent ideas.
Yeah.
What else?
Plans.
Plans, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your skills,
Yeah.
your ideas, your commitment. Commitment's very important, isn't it? Why is commitment so important? Also, what about, like listening to other people's ideas? Why is it so important to listen to others' ideas?
To make the other people comfortable and
Yeah.
to make them feel like they are part of the team.
Yeah.
And bring more ideas.
Everybody has different ideas.
Yeah.
So if you try to make people as part of your team, that becomes an effective team.
Yeah.
So next one is, again, what we looked at, what makes an effective team. So basic elements of effectiveness, good communication, which we mentioned, social skills. What social skills, Eunice? What could be good social skills?
What the individual can do. Yeah.
Maybe like things like, if they can go outside, represent themselves, able to talk to different businesses, positive interdependence, which means it's we as a team instead of me as an individual, individual accountability, personal responsibility, group processing, shared goals, like we mentioned, processes for conflict resolution. So these are some of the important factors that actually make an effective team. Motivation matters. So think about your own work teams. Why are people there? Do paid and volunteer staff have different reasons for being there? Is there potential for conflict because of this? How can it be dealt with? So these are some of the things in your own team that, do paid and volunteer staff have different reasons for being there. Some people may have reasons for just volunteering their services. Some may need the money. Stages of team development, which we looked at a little bit earlier on in one of the slides as well, which identified the different stages. So we're going to go with them in detail. So stages of team development: forming, storming, norming, and performing. So how long a stage lasts depends on how long the group is together and the nature of the tasks. Teams are dynamic, not a fixed entity. So we've got stage 1, forming a team. People feel uncomfortable when they first join a team or a group. How is this shown and what can be done about this? So people feel uncomfortable when they first join a team. How is this shown and what can we do about this? What do you think? How do you know someone's feeling uncomfortable in a group?
Not, able to bring out idea or not communicating.
Yeah. And what can we do about this? What, as a group or a team, what could we do about this?
Like,
do you think we can get them?
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that, Eunice?
You get them involved in every
year. Yeah, you get them involved. And why is it important to get them involved?
So that they can,
Is that because they can feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
How can we move away from this and help people unite and work together? And that is what you've just said, to get them involved, to get them talking, to get them feeling comfortable, because if they don't feel comfortable in a group, then, you know, we need to work together to build their confidence up, because you do get people that are different. So, you know, you are able to build their confidence up as a team. Deciding on goals. So would you need a charter or a constitution? The survey feedback method, critical path method starts with the end they want to achieve. Then we've got stage 2, which is storming. So this stage needs to be acknowledged and dealt with as part of a normal team behavior. Be aware that conflict may emerge between subgroups or over leadership. There may be tension in the team because of some disagreement, dislike between members, or members may be reluctant to continue and fail to reappear after a break. So fight or flight. Stage 3 is norming. So this is a sense of team identity develops along with trust. Why is trust so important in any sort of team, Eunice? Why do you think trust is so important? Why is it so important to trust your members? If you're working with someone, why is it so important to trust them with everything? Sorry?
It helps to, you know, I just don't know.
Okay, it's okay, take your time, it's okay. So it's really important to trust people, because you're working with these people, so you put all your trust in these people. Okay, yeah. So it's really, really important that you're able to identify, you know, that you are working together with another individual, but you are trusting what they're saying. You can tell them things because you're sharing ideas with them, and you're committed to the teamwork as well. Yeah. So stage 3 is norming. So a sense of team identity develops along with trust, which is really important. Team members begin to share new ideas and objectives. For example, ideas on business communication, ideas on new developments. They agree on what is to be achieved, and commitment develops here. So it's really important, this stage 3, where they start to build that trust. Stage 4, performing. So energy is now directed towards the task. It needs to be channeled and coordinated well. Vigilance and regarding team processes is very important. Give credit where it is due. So someone does something really different or brings in new ideas, or, you know, says this is a good way of doing something. Give credit, you know, say, oh, it's a really good idea. You know, identify that you're making the people feel welcome as part of the team, but also the ideas they're bringing in, or any sort of new processes, or any sort of new things they're bringing in, you know, give credit to them, because they, you know, are just as a part of a team. Remember, the introduction of any new members returns the team to forming stage. So some teams have a used by date. Building a team. So how to help your team get acquainted and feel comfortable with their fellow members. So it's really important that you're building a team to make the team feel comfortable with each other, because if they're not comfortable with each other, would they work well together, Eunice? No. Why is it so important to, you know, make them feel comfortable?
So that they can work together as a team to achieve their goal.
Yeah, do they achieve more if they're comfortable in their with their fellow members? Yes, they will achieve better. Okay. Develop ground rules and norms for the team. What does that mean? develop ground rules and norms for the team?
Like rules that will guide them to work.
Why are ground rules so important for the team?
So that they can be committed and to the work, to the team rather.
Yeah. So they're committed and work well together. Communicate and work cooperatively. Again, you must be able to communicate and work together well to achieve a certain goal. Because if you don't work together and you like to work on your own, then there's no point being part of a team. You must be able to facilitate the sharing of information and expectations between members. You need to start working together, sharing information, and have different expectations as a team member. Because, one member may be allocated some work here, the other member may be allocated work in a different department, a different area. So you need to collaborate together and work together. Also, you begin trusting each other. Why is it important, again, when I go back to trust, why is it important to start trusting again?
Yeah, so that if you trust them, you can tell them more.
Yeah.
And bring more ideas, share more ideas because you trust the person or your
Is
team.
Is it sometimes hard, Eunice, in an organization, in a team, to trust people straight away?
Not really.
Are you a trusting person?
Yes.
It's sometimes really hard for other people, though, to trust each other.
It depends on how the person behaves, his character, or and how she or he does her things, or his things, you can trust them.
Why do you think it's hard for people to trust each other?
I can't tell, sorry.
No, it's okay. No, is it like through personal experiences, or maybe working in a different team where someone wasn't trustworthy?
Yes.
Sometimes people struggle to share ideas and facilitate any sort of information.
Because they think that the person will look down upon, will look down upon me, so they don't feel like going there to ask or to share.
Yeah, it is very difficult sometimes for people to trust each other. But if you build that trust through a good team and you're comfortable with your fellow members and you develop any sort of ground rules and you start, sharing and becoming more acquainted with the person, and becoming, cooperating and communicating is really important. So if you start doing that, then you become quite close and start trusting people. And then, other elements may appear in regards to that. So role of team members. So there's different roles of team members. So clarity at the start helps to reduce friction. So we look at their roles, shared goals, conflict resolution. Why is it important at the start, when you're building this team, to identify your roles and goals? So why is it important to identify what your role is in the team?
It's important to identify because it's a team and everyone has their own weakness and what he can do better. So if you identify yours, it makes the team, the work easy.
Yeah. But it also makes it clear, doesn't it?
Yeah. It makes it clear as well.
It makes it clear at the start that this person is going to do this job, okay? And this person is going to deal with this part of the, the team, or this person's going to deal with this area. So it causes less conflict.
Yes.
Okay, it allows people to get credit for their achievements. So anyone working on a specialist area, for example, you know, if you're working on project management of a house or something, you're allowing, you know, one person can deal with the, you know, the design of the house, the other can deal with the what's going to go in the house, then the other one can deal with what material can be used for the kitchen, things like that. So then everyone has their own roles, but also, you know, if you achieve your role or your goal well, you're able to get credit for it. So if you put in a kitchen that everyone likes in the team, then they can say, oh my God, you know, Eunice, you chose a lovely kitchen to put into a house and you got credit for that. You know, they praise you for it. It's really important to praise people as well whilst you're working in a team. If you praise someone and you give them credit for something, what does it make the person feel like?
It motivates the person.
Motivates them, yeah. It motivates them, and it
do more.
also makes them want to do more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just natural that people have that perception that,
Yeah.
you know, I want to achieve better now because, you know, I'm doing more. So it's really good thing to do with people. Clear responsibility and timelines for tasks avoids undue last minute pressure. So any sort of issues regarding any sort of your responsibility needs to be clear. It needs to be there so you're able to identify what your responsibilities are. So there's no last minute, you know, any sort of last minute pressures saying that, oh, you needed to do this, you needed to that. You need to be at the start of it. You need to know your goal. You need to know your role. Excuse me. Roles need to be shared where possible to avoid boredom and assist in retention. So you need to give someone a role that they're not going to be bored of and something that's going to be quite challenging, okay, for that person to be able to identify and work more with. So if they're bored, you know, they need to identify what the challenges are. Factors critical for strong teams. Team goals. So why is it important to have goals in place? Why is it important to have goals in place?
To know, you know,
You know what?
like you set a goal and you work on it and you know whether it's been met or not.
Yeah. Is that what you need to achieve, that goal?
Yeah.
Yes, you need to achieve that goal. So you set the goal at the start when you give the roles and responsibility, and your whole element and your, you know, to have a strong team, you need to achieve that goal at the end of it. What about team structure? Why is it important to have a team structure in place?
To know the right
Okay, why do you think it, when we look at team structure, why is it so important to have that structure in place?
to know who to go through.
Yes, to know who to go to. Why is it so important to know who is that person dealing with everything?
Yeah.
So you know who to go to, okay? It's so important. You know who to go to and what to develop, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Roles within the team. Why is it so important that you know what your role is in the team?
So that you work within your limits.
So to work within your limits.
Yeah.
So what your role is it needs to be identified quite clearly, because you know it's that you work at that role and you achieve that role that you've been given, rather than move away from working in that role and then do less work in you know, the role that you're supposed to do. Timelines for teamwork. Why is it important to have timelines in place?
To avoid last minute pressure.
Yeah. So if we don't have timelines in place, would everything be done positively?
No.
What would happen? Would we fall back?
Yes.
Yeah, we'd fall back with what our timeline is expecting us to do. So timelines are really good to have in place, and time structure and deadlines. You know, deadlines make us meet these deadlines. You know, the fact that we've got deadlines in place, we have to meet the deadlines, you know, and we will do work better if you meet deadlines as a team.
Yeah.
I think you would achieve more, okay, if you work better as a team. So what we're going to do here now, we're going to stop the session here now, okay? So what we've done today, we've looked at learning outcome 2, and we've been looking at team building and effective team building, okay? So we'll be looking at understanding the different principles of teamwork, looking at, you know, the critiques, the factors around what teamwork is, also looking at what an effective teamwork is. Next week we'll be carrying on with the same thing, okay? So we look at the different types of factors for strong teamwork's basic team skills. We'll carry on with that next week, okay? So next week's sessions will be developing more on teamwork and team building, okay? We're going to stop now. Have you got any questions?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's okay. Okay, if you have any questions, just email the learner work email. Also, have a look at some of the references on Moodle in regards to teamwork, which will help you develop when it comes to doing your assignment. So next week we'll finish off learning outcome 2, then we'll carry on with learning outcome 3, 4 and 5, and then the assignment session. If you have any questions, please ask me. Or if you struggled with any area on teamwork or team building, just ask me, okay?
All right.
Thank you. And please use go on to Moodle to try to get more additional resources on Moodle to try and help you with understanding certain concepts if you struggle with them.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for today's session, Eunice, and I hope to see you next week. Okay.
All right.
Have a nice week.
Thank you. Have a nice one. All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.